Hello, world. There is my gratitude alarm going off at 8 o'clock. I forget about it every week. It is Annie Lieb, live and in charge from Living with Annietude channel, here to say hi. How are you guys? Wasn't on last week, so I missed you very much. And I have the beautiful, the inspirational, the enlightened and wonderful neighbor of mine. That's how close she is. She's a neighbor of mine. I mean, not like next door, but she's relatively close. In fact, you will be able to hear her Philadelphia accent, which sounds a lot like mine. So I feel like I'm at home when I'm talking to her. Alison Bucklin, please welcome my friend and someone I really care about. Thank you for joining us.
So I was so looking forward to, because we planned this like months ago when we talked last, and then it's like coming up and I'm like, oh yes, I get to talk to Annie and catch up.
Totally snuck up on us, and we planned this so long ago. So I have this thing where like all these people pop on in the beginning, and I'm working on my live show and comments and not being rude to the guests. So what I'm going to do is let a couple of them come in and put them on, and then we'll have a time to talk. And then this is my new routine. And then we'll have time to talk, and then I'll do some at the end. But I when people like, it makes me anxious. I don't want them to think I don't see the comments, so I get like a little nuts about it, but I'm trying to be calm about it. This is also, as I told you, my third live stream of the day, back-to-back calls in between. So rock star party going on tonight. My eyes are being protected by blue light. It's all happening.
Yeah, me too. So,
I
mean, and you can see my cat in the background. The cat, one of
I love
my cats.
It.
Yeah,
I love the background.
Yeah, my daughter's room here, they're jumping around, so they may fly around a little bit here, but it's so great to connect with you. I've been looking forward to this, even though I just remembered it recently, but like, I love every time we get to just catch up, like we're neighbors. And my accent, well, I'm from Baltimore, so it's like, we're close enough, so we need to get together in like real life. That's going to be the next
I know. And every time I talk to you, I hear your Philly accent, and I'm just like, I love it. It's like, you're so close to my heart. And, I don't know if you have it, but you do. And when I listen to myself, I do. And I'm like, that's because I'm like fast and, and like my ass. And then I'm like, why am I talking like that? And I realize where I'm from. So it's okay.
Well, I often get like down south sometimes. People are like, where are you from? And I'm like, Baltimore. And they're like, where I thought you were like south. I'm like, all right. Okay, it's just the way I talk.
Yeah, just the way I talk. So a couple people are saying hi. What's up, Travis? This is the second live stream I've seen him on. Good to see you. Pat, good to see you. Great to see you. Geronimo, nice to see you. Nancy, hi. Good to see you. Brad says, you know Brad? Because he seemed to be excited you were here. Or do you know Brad? He's amazing. You should connect with him.
Awesome.
Have a good day. It's so nice when people dig in the glasses, girls. So we were just talking about it, Frank, that these are blue light glasses. So I'm that librarian. Are you going for the librarian look, Al?
I love it. I feel like yes, totally librarian, but
totally
like sophisticated, smart.
Yeah.
I'm like,
these aren't even
protecting my health, and I feel like it does kind of empower me. So we're going with the glasses.
I'm automatically smarter when I put these on. So Michelle Madden says, hi, good to see you. Carl Sean, what's up, sunshine? He's right over the bridge in Jersey.
Awesome. East Coast.
You. Great to see you together. I don't know who LinkedIn user is. I hate when it does that. And Jonathan, that's my boy. Like, I had one of my favorite shows of all time with him, not like to say anything bad about anybody else's show that were amazing, but Jonathan's and my show was just really amazing. It was very cathartic for me. So blue light glasses, nice, super effective for the evening wind down. Absolutely, my man. What are blue light glasses? You both are brilliant. Okay, so let me explain. I have very light blue eyes that are very sensitive to light, but all of you guys have eyeballs that are actually sensitive to all these screens that we're on all the time. Before these became a fad, I'm just going to call myself out as a mini trendsetter here, Al. Before these became a fad, I was like, blue light glasses, like that's really cool. I'm going to order them. Then they became like a thing where Warby Parker and everybody started making them. But these are $15 silicone Amazon glasses. These are not like anything special, but they are my favorite. I've spent hundreds for frames before in my past life. These are my favorite, like $13.99 or $14.99 frames from Amazon. And they just are, I go for the librarian look. They protect my eyes. So blue light actually protects you from the screens, certain light that comes off all of your screens that actually keeps you awake, that you should not be watching prior to bed, that, it has all these bad effects. And in fact, you can't see it, but I have little, if you look really, really close, I have little deposits on my eyes from all the screen usage. So I have to really protect my eyes. And
totally.
you have green eyes.
I have green eyes, and I, last year I did so many, online networking events. I mean, just through Baltimore alone, like it was amazing. And in one of them, I noticed that this woman had on her blue light glasses. I'm like, that makes so much sense. I only just saw it from somebody else. How often do we take advice from what others offer or I'm like, I need that if I'm going to protect my health. If there's any chance that this is diminishing or harming me, which I started to I'm getting, every year we level up. And I was like, okay, what is going on with my eyesight? But so all the screen time, yeah, totally. So I'm in totally now.
And not only that, with our phones, we're sitting in front of computers, but with our phones, it's doing the same thing. So it protects you from that. So if you asked and you're interested, Amazon has them.
Yes, that's a reminder
back in the day, the older people used to wear blue blockers. That's very similar, those big blue blockers, but now they make them cool.
They make them cool. And I know you're into health and protecting our bodies. I mean, because we're talking about toxin-free things. So whatever we can do, I mean, there's little things that are in our control, right? So get a pair of blue light glasses and they make you look smarter too.
And to Travis's point, yes, they have gotten trendy, but I must tell you, sir, I had them a long time ago. I promise you, I was one of the trendsetters. Anyway, Alison Bucklin, I only have a half hour with you. Give me a little bio on who you are and what you've been up to. Tell everybody that's on and chiming in what's going on.
Yeah, totally. So my goodness. Well, I always go back to why I do what I do. And my journey started many years ago. I've been in corporate sales and until last week, I've been in corporate sales and marketing for 22 years and various different roles. And along that way, I kind of just thought that I was always kind of just supposed to do that. Go to school, get good grades, get a job, work for the rest of your life, check the boxes. I'm excelling at all the things. I'm like, okay, that's great. Well, about, 2009 really is when everything kind of started to change in my life. I decided that I was ready to start having a family with my husband, Dave, and we started to have a child, and it didn't really go as planned. And it ended up taking us 4.5 years, 11 fertility attempts. I had a miscarriage at number 3 and then ended up on bed rest for 7 weeks in the hospital, which is traumatic, of course, in itself. But I got the most beautiful blessing, my Evelyn. She's such a miracle. And after that, my life changed even more because I started adopting a healthy lifestyle. I started dreaming bigger and kind of just started thinking okay, I really need more flexibility in my life and all the things. And a friend introduced me to Arbonne, and I became a network marketer, which also taught me so many things in business. And so along that way, this is a short recap, okay, to catch all your people up.
It's great.
And along that way, I was thinking about it before we got on. I'm like, what's so relevant right now, in my journey? Because I just texted you. I shifted out of that career. I made a big life change this week, and I'll catch you up on that. But it comes down to body, mind, and soul, really. That's why I put that sign up here, because I started a lifestyle change just over 5 years ago with my body. And that really opened up my mindset a lot. And then I started making shifts with my mindset and personal growth and development. And that really led to the soul work that we do along the way as entrepreneurs and as everyday people just navigating life. I'm a busy mom, working, raising my beautiful daughter, and trying to do all the things. I know you align with a lot of this because we do manage so many things and balancing relationships. And so I really, with that combo, just woke up through a lot of mental health challenges last year with the pandemic, and getting through all of that with the tools that I've learned along the way, and decided and woke up to that God was leading me into teaching. When we first had a convo, I updated you that I was like, okay, this is like what I'm thinking I'm supposed to do.
I remember I saw this whole thing develop, which is really cool to watch.
Yes. And I left my job and decided I was going to start school to begin teaching, and then ended up taking another job. And then the stars just aligned God was just leading me all the way. And I ended up starting this week teaching kindergarten at a Catholic school in Catonsville. So
that's amazing.
I'm on like day 2, literally. And I've already learned so much about myself. I'm like, okay, all right. I'm just going to like trust and surrender. And so here I am. And so that's to catch you up what I'm doing.
So you know what's so funny, Alison? I feel like we have, and we didn't talk prior, just so everybody knows, we didn't even talk. We got on like 1 minute before the show. And we've always been really super aligned since the first time we met. And I'm going to tell you that this is how crazy our alignment is. You've gone through this journey, right? And my journey started with living with Annietude, stepping into my authenticity and becoming my true self. And we were sort of aligned in this journey together. And now I'm shifting, and I haven't even launched this to the public yet, but just as a sneak peek, I'm shifting into this space that I'm calling the soul center. And it's going to be the soul center experience. And you're bringing up body, mind, and soul. And it's just so crazy how aligned we are, that we're both, I've really now, I was saying earlier in one of the lives I was on, I've always been really heart-centered and authentic. I've never been phony. That's not who I am, but I haven't always been soul-centered. And I've done a lot of work on this journey, just like you were saying, doing the soul work, which I find really interesting that we did at the same time. And I really recently, when I got the tattoo that says truth, I really stepped into my truth and my soul center. And I am more fulfilled, truthfully, honestly fulfilled, authentically than I've ever been in my entire life. So like 42 and a half-ish is when I hit my point of like, I've arrived, like I'm here, and now I know exactly what I'm here to do. I know exactly who I am. And we're always evolving. Don't get me wrong. My work is never done. But I'm so happy to hear, because I saw everything evolve with you. And I saw we were both a little bit confused when we talked, and we were both trying to kind of feel out the other person, getting to know each other. And you were like, and I was like, so what's your deal? What's your deal? And we sort of trusted one another and said, we're on a journey. And it was like spoken, unspoken, right? And then we went on this journey together, but apart. It's not like we talk often, but always connected. And now we're here, and you're like, it's all happening. It's happened. You're doing the teaching. It's like, here, it's arrived. You've arrived. So,
I mean, totally. Last week I left a 21-year corporate sales career, and I'm like day 2 of kindergarten, and I'm so impressed with myself. And these kindergartners, I'm learning it's like strategic. Like you have to be like, I'm like, okay, all right. Like this is, in like 2 days, I'm like, okay, all right, let's do it. But it's like when you learn to trust, it's like fun.
Made me think. Do you watch baseball?
No, not really. So we've got the O's here, but I don't watch. No.
The people that watch baseball will understand what I'm about to say. So baseball can seem really boring to people in the beginning. It's a long game. It's involved, and like you're kind of just like you're recreationally watching. People hit the ball, they catch the ball, great. They hit a home run, awesome. That's exciting. But when you really learn about strategy of baseball, it's one of the most interesting, like enthralling sports, because you can learn. And it just reminded me of that, like kindergarten. You might think, oh, it's easy, you're playing with kids, but really there's a whole strategy around it. Like there's a way to do it. There's trust developing, there's developing minds, and like it's not an easy job. I don't envy you at all.
I'm like, just like jump, leap, and the net will appear. And I'm like, it is appearing. Things are aligning. I'm learning. They're feeling me out. Like, but it's really cool. Today I had meditating on the floor, like sitting crisscross applesauce for 60 seconds. There was a couple giggles, but 60 seconds. I'm like, okay.
You are doing, Alison, you're doing angel's work. I mean, you have the most developing minds in front of you, and you come from such a heart-centered, soul-centered place that you do it with all your heart and soul. Because like me, we just do things with all of us, all of, like every inch of us, right? So I know how you do things because I knew you as soon as I met you. So like, I feel like you have to remember what you're doing. You're not like babysitting, like you're developing these minds, you're helping them learn. And these are the future leaders of our country.
I love it.
Like,
that's what I love.
An amazing thing.
That's what I love about it. It's so foundational. And let me tell you how alignment this is. I've really been called into doing work this year specifically on my inner child and inner child healing, and beginning to learn how to parent my inner child, because we in our life, you know, most developing between 0 and 7 is when we can uncover things that just get imprinted. And I've learned those things about myself that I'm now healing from. So I get to just, I know whose hands I'm in, and my fertility journey has certainly led me here, and I've learned so much from that. And you know, I've desired another child. I know I've been meant to be mother. And now I'm like, okay, other people's children. Like, this is great.
Well, this is your work. I mean, this is what it's so funny how, and there's a couple comments I want to bring up because I'm seeing them and I want to highlight them and answer the questions, especially Travis's question. But I want to say that it's really nice to feel you being in your passion-driven purpose, like living your purpose, right? And when we first met in, what was it, almost the beginning of the pandemic, we weren't living in that passion-driven purpose. And there was a very big difference in our energy. And so what you're talking about and that parenting of the inner child it's what I talk about with my clients all the time. It's so important to go back and when you're in your healing process and journey, to parent that inner child that, you know, when you react in anger, when you react in rage, when you get triggered by things when you're an adult. I mean, if you go back and you take care of that child within you, also the children that you're coddling and taking care of and teaching right now, you know, you're helping form them. When you have to go back when you're one of us and really just start to heal that child and parent your own child inside you, parent yourself. It's a very interesting and cathartic thing to learn how to do.
It is. And then I'm taking away a lesson of already, you know, this is going to continue to help me heal. So I get it. I get out of it too.
Oh my God.
Giving, Alison, receiving, like, I mean, it's like, they're both the same energy, giving and receiving. So totally. We have to be able to like receive back what fills us up too.
To your point, when people ask me what I do, that's exactly my point. Like, the more that I help heal people and guide them, I'm being guided and healed. Like, it is a give and take, you know, I'm getting so much out of it. And I'm able to like shed my light from my experiences on these people's lives. But at the same time, like I'm healing through them and they're healing. And it's just this amazing, amazing thing that, you know, and I know that when we first talked, so funny, like interesting, neither of us were like this. We weren't like, we still had, you know, energy, but it wasn't like this kind of synergistic, you know, and it seems like we're both really in that spot. So a couple of comments. Travis has a question for you. He said, hold on. Who's easier to manage, kindergartners or corporate boardroom of executives? Such a good question.
Totally. I mean, it's such a good question because it's funny when like I was thinking about preparing my energy and mindset to like start yesterday. I likened it to like, I've been doing what I've been doing and evolved and have learned so much in my way. I've been unemployed 4 times, changed companies, various careers. Like, it's funny. Every time I was unemployed, I would say, if I don't get another job, I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to be a teacher. Like every single time. And of course, I would just get another job because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to keep applying and keep doing which is fine because it led me in my journey. But I likened it to like if you took somebody out of the classroom, a kindergarten teacher, and you're like, go do a high level presentation to, you know, a boardroom of executives who are making a decision on several $100,000 software, you know, like, okay, go do that. Like it, you know, I likened it to that. Like, so to answer your question, I'm totally the boardroom. Easier, way easier.
Yeah, it's so true. Kids are, listen, like I said, I do not envy you. I mean, that's God's work, angel's work right there. So a couple other comments. Brad said your soul and authenticity are shining through. Amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much, Brad. That makes me feel
so wonderful. Thank you. I will receive that.
Receive that. He also said reparenting is a great healing principle to self and is often underrated. Very, very true. You can use logic with kindergartners, Lee said, but obviously not with corporate boardroom executives. No, you can't use that. Michael said, kindergartners, as they are curious to learn, execs totally stuck and need to be Annie's clients. Thank you. Yes, they do.
Oh, that's awesome. Totally. Well, I'm fortunate too, because I still get to have, I still am an entrepreneur. I just started as a brand ambassador and aligned with another company. So now, in addition to helping folks with mind, body, and skin health, and with our bond, but also I just joined a company called Scout and Cellar.
I know Scout and Cellar. They're a great company. Totally. It's exciting.
Yeah, to offer clean crafted wine, because as a result of my health journey, I couldn't drink wine for 5 years because it wasn't serving my body, and I realized that. And so I found clean wine that didn't give me a headache.
That's amazing, and perfectly aligned.
Why not? If I'm going to start telling people about it, I might as well.
I will totally support you. I love that, and it really aligns with both of our kind of toxin-free living. Totally. What I was going to say to you was, you can be a teacher, and that's amazing, and that's your passion-driven purpose, but you still have that entrepreneurship in you. That's that kind of stuff, and those other streams aren't going to stop just because you went back to being a teacher.
No. I love that. I love, I was realizing lately, and this is so important. I'd heard somewhere, I do not know where I had remembered or hearing it, but it was about the most successful people have an average of like 7 streams of income. And that resonated so much with me. And I was counting them recently, and I was like, oh yes, I'm my husband and I we made it. And, whatever success is, it's for me, it's, being in purpose and understanding and learning and growing. And of course, abundance financially and having that. But, yeah,
that's such a good question for you. What is success? That's a great question. If anybody wants to comment or talk about that, and it's not like we have a ton of time. We have like 7 minutes, but I love to talk about what the definition of success is, because I was raised to think it was one thing, right? Yes. And I don't blame anybody that put that impression on me. That's what my parents thought. That's what they were taught, and that's what they were raised. But, it's become something different for me. And of course, I will be very successful and make a certain amount of money, and that is great. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with making a lot of money at all. I'm not pushing that away. I welcome it. However, I will say that living in passion and purpose is, I kid you not, I'm not just saying this. This isn't about my brand. This isn't about anything other than to say it is the most fulfilling thing I've ever experienced in my, I wake up in the morning and I am psyched to do life. And I've never, ever said that before, where I'm really psyched to take on life every day. This isn't like a manic episode. This isn't like a week where I'm feeling really good. This is like a constant thing. And it's even when things hit me from different angles, and everything's not always going to go smoothly, as we both know, And another thing, really side note, what I was thinking about you is, you said I was unemployed 4 times. And, I always said I was going to go back to teaching. I was talking about transferable skills earlier, and that just made me think of how adaptable of a person and a resourceful person and a tenacious person that you are, that stuff didn't break you. It put you where you're supposed to be. just like
Oh, determination. I mean, resilience, I mean, it's so true. I write every day in my journal. One of the things of the questions that I ask, that I answer, which are, by the way, so who do you love and who loves you? 3 people you write down every day. And that's the first. Second one is, what are you most proud of about yourself? And usually I write my determination, because I'm so proud that I was determined enough to take 11 fertility attempts to welcome my child who was meant for me and I was meant for her. So determination. And then the third question that I answer is, what are you most excited about right now? And which is great, allows you to be present. Yeah. So who did I hear that from? Somebody on LinkedIn. So I can't remember the exact name, but it was somebody else who had quoted that. And we take things and we hear things all the time, right? But how many do us react on those? So I acted on those and started that. And I started asking my
Alison centered. That's your centering exercise in your daily routine, and that's why you can be grounded. Those are amazing questions. And to have those, I mean, that's part of what I teach too, is, you just really have to have a daily routine and start off with gratitude. And
definitely.
People just don't want to stick to it. And I'm like, let me explain the benefits. You will see the benefits. It's like, it's life-changing, and it's not life-changing. It's a practice. It's a daily practice. So you do that and you see the benefits, right?
Oh, you do. And they're, it's like these little steps. Something comes, you seize the opportunity. Little steps. You just, you see it, they build over time. It doesn't like happen overnight that, and this is an ever evolving process. You mentioned it earlier, like we're always expanding or we're not here anymore. I mean, it's just, it's all, and it sounds like just over the last year or since we've been talked and such, and we've just become so much more conscious. Yes, soul led, but like it's
so funny. Michael just wrote hyper acutely self-awareness. He's been saying this to me lately. That's totally what it is. It's becoming so honed in on your self-awareness that you're just like, okay, I see it now. I get it. Travis wrote vibes. Love it, Annie. I love him. Trav, you're the best. Michael wrote, success to me is to be self-inspired while living in my core values, soul center, while inspiring others to be the same, elevating humanity one person at a time.
Oh my God, I love that. Values. I love that you brought up values, like just identify living in your values and your strengths and your, self-awareness. It's like the more we learn about ourselves.
Yep. Totally.
We can,
and learning about, I call it excavating core values. Like that's part of my program that I'm helping people with, is just like that deep dive into figuring out what your values are. Because many people don't know. Brad said, success is the ability to journey alongside with others and lift them beyond where they couldn't have gone themselves. That's so true. Lifting others is oftentimes a hashtag for me, lift others, because I find that that's the most elevating to me. It's elevating to me, and it's elevating, and you elevate other. It's just a whole synergistic.
Yes, I love it. Well, that it's same. I love the lifting. I love that he brought up lifting others. One of my values is to uplift and to do that, to raise people up. And my friend on LinkedIn, Lila Smith, that I met on LinkedIn, also, she talks about verbing your values, and that's one of mine, is to uplift, to fizz, and to really, do that. So I love it. It's so fun. The more we can learn about yourself, abundance and love, peace, joy, guidance, wisdom, being true to yourself.
Wealth in life. Absolutely. These were awesome. You got a lot of good work-life balance equals success.
Really?
That's a whole other show. What does work-life balance really look like, and how do we get there? But we'll have to do another show another time doing that after we're doing our jobs for a while, when we reconnect.
After we're doing our jobs right. Number 2. Oh my God. And then we're going to meet in real life, and then we can do something in real life.
We'll do a podcast together in real life. We'll go live. That'll be so fun. So thank you to everybody who watched. This was awesome. I loved catching up with you, beautiful girl.
You
You're doing amazing. Your whole, just so you know, your whole being is shining. And when I saw you, when I first met you, you were not shining this way. I mean, you were always beautiful, but you were not, you just weren't glowing the way that you are now. So just know that you've done a work and it has really shown.
Yes. Thank you for acknowledging that. Yes, I did the work. You do
for
the work.
sure.
You got to do the work.
Got to do the work. Everybody, good night. Al, stay for 1 second. Thank you for joining us. It was so nice to see all of you. I'm so grateful. Love you. Peace.